As a girl, कितना difficult है और कितना easy है to pursue architecture?
I didn't have any difficulty in pursuing architecture.
Architecture में succeed होने के लिए कौन-कौन से skill set and the qualifications is required?
What we majorly look into is a problem solving skill.
What are the career opportunity except the traditional roles in architecture? Hello everyone, welcome to Spotlight the Pillai podcast. I am Manjari Kothawade and today's topic is the future of architecture as a career in India. And for today's episode, we have our special guest, Professor Ashwati Rajgopal from Pillai HUC College of Architecture. My first question to you is, what inspired you to pursue your career in architecture?
Okay, so it's quite funny, like any other Indian household, like when I was in my 9th or 10th, where I was put into this whole process of understanding what you want to do post 12th. So I started looking at only one thing, the what skill set I have and what should I opt with that skill set. So the only skill set which I actually understood was like I was into more like aligned to art, some artistic, not doing fantastic portraits, but I was more into landscape and sketching out buildings and etc. So I identified two courses simultaneously. One was architecture and one was visual arts into advertisements, which was again a 5-year course in JJ. So opting between both of them, I kind of, at the similar time, I had my own home, which was being made in my hometown. And when my architect or engineer was setting up drawings to us, the drawings looked very different like what we regularly see. So it was like more straight lines and they start talking about what spaces and a lot of like we will do this, what happens in a bedroom, what happens in the kitchen. So this kind of fascinated me, okay, how to go about it and all of it. And that's when I made up my mind, okay, now let's try out architecture. Then I kind of did my R&D about, okay, it's going to be a 5-year course and what can be done and things like that. And I kind of prepared myself, okay, I had to be prepared for like 5 years of continuous, rigorous way of working.
That's interesting, ma'am. So architecture में succeed होने के लिए कौन-कौन से skill set and the qualifications is required?
Okay, so we look at two different aspects to it. One is the formal qualifications, what the government of India, like we have Council of Architecture, what they have stated, and university. Mm-hmm. So like, you have to be physics, chemistry, maths, and all that. Okay. Apart from that, what we majorly look into is a problem solving skill. Okay, because that is the most underrated skill set which we still are trying to figure out, like what is it? Because apparently an architect is going to be designing a solution for what your need is. Like a client comes to you, or there's an existing building, I want to do interiors, or I want to make a new building. It's actually solving the problem for that particular person, the needs. So basically the first and the foremost skill what we need is a problem solving skill.
Okay.
And then secondary comes into a visualization. Like, okay, I might not be great with my hands, or someone might be great at computers, soft skills. But more than that, I think whatever media which we use, but the person has to be very strong with a visualization power. Like when you coming and telling me, I need my home to be looking like this, I need to get an idea about it. And so basically, I feel the problem solving and the visualization power are the main two skills which an architecture student or an architect needs to have. Apart from that, we need to, obviously, any profession, we have to upskill ourselves.
As a girl, कितना difficult है और कितना easy है to pursue architecture?
To be honest, I didn't have any difficulty in pursuing architecture. Maybe because of the environment which I studied in. There was no gender bias, or there was no particular restriction that a girl couldn't do. We all were forced into sites equally, like how like a male colleague or a male student would be put into. Such bole to kuch as some difficulty was not there. But certain when you're into job, obviously there is, as any other places, sometimes you might face through, okay, no, we are looking for a boy or a male candidate, because you might have to travel so much for so long, or you have to be at sites, especially when it comes to marriage and having a child and all of that. Still there's a gender bias. But apart from that, in curriculum, we try our best like we should not put any gender bias into teaching, because we put everyone into the equal set of training. Like, okay, side jana hai, tum logo side jana hai. Like, you have to travel to so and so, you have to do it. So there is no restrictions on that. But yeah, workplace, certain offices, certain companies look for, but like male candidates, but eventually it's been changing.
That's interesting and alarming as well. So the next question is, what are the career opportunity except the traditional roles in architecture which a student can, go for?
Okay, architecture as a field, अपन देखें तो ना, it's like it has a lot of permutation combinations which we learn. From the first year to the fifth year, we are put through a thorough way of visualization. You put into a lot of upskilling activities. So at the end of the day, we have students and also my seniors or my other colleagues who are into multiple ways of, they get a lot of opportunities. Like now we have like UI UX, the user interface. It's very easy for an architecture student to kind of cut through that because they already know what a user needs, and then analysis to be done. It's very easy. Secondly, it's also like automobile industry. Like earlier when we used to study, there were no such courses which looked at automobile design. So architects were in role, like, okay, because they understood a lot of let's say wind dynamics, aerodynamics, etc. So which we could easily put them across into any courses. From now the latest trend of BIM, VR, AR, everything. Now you see architects are into it more. And students are deviating from the traditional architectural roles, like being an architect or an interior designer or landscape architect. There's so many other possibilities. Like we have a few of our students who are working in biotechnology as a field. They're designing a certain system because it is easy for them to understand the anatomy of a person and develop a system which is going to be put into a human body. I mean, where we thought, okay, that's a very science oriented, like whether it's like a scientist or it's like a biotechnology student is saying. But it's an architect who is doing it. The 5 years, when we look at, हम लोग अभी किसी को भी बोले 5 साल का course है, everyone like 5 years, what is going to happen? But it's not like that. Then this 5 years, the students are put through a lot of variations of academics, understanding dynamics of various aspects, from understanding a human anatomy to building something which is respect to that particular user, like let's say from a toddler to a senior citizen. Things are varying, so it's very easy for people to understand and get through different courses. And the field are now like, let's say, like any other courses we have, from government opportunity to private opportunity. Some students are wonderful doing in real estate, project management, building. I mean, these are the traditional roles which still exist. But there's so many other courses or opportunities if we start hunting for, where the skills what they have are in need.
As you mentioned, the technology, that is artificial intelligence, then VR, AR, 3D printing, how it has been impacting on the field of architecture?
Okay, here I will look at like both negative and positives. I mean, I'll start with the positives. So there were times when in our office where we actually started off with, before even all those apps, like VR coming into a trend, I remember we designed villa project. So the thing is, and it's not easy for us to एक model लेके जाओ या 3D model लेके जाओ and उनको समझाने के लिए बहुत तकलीफ होंगे. तो क्या किया हम लोग ने? We approached a company who was specialized in augmented reality. So what they did is, in your phone, you open your camera and then you have a brochure in which the plan is there. So when you keep the phone over the plan, you could easily, you could just see the 3D model, and then the user, like if I'm the client, I could just move around, scroll through it and zoom in, zoom out, understand, move around. So I didn't need to have additional VR goggles and all of it. I like the breakthrough which I saw initially. Then later now we have another set of projects, and one of my junior colleagues, they were saying that, I mean, we went through it, is now it's a trend of the user, the client wants to see things way in advance, and they have to be very, they want to understand कि हाँ, this property is the best property, नहीं तो ये घर हम लोग के लिए best है, या इधर हम लोग ये कर सकते हो. तो ये सब दिखाने के लिए, now what we have done is we make the 3D and we kind of give this feedback to this person who is making the VR for us, and then the client wears the VR goggles and then he could see, and then through certain instructions, he could change the interiors, swap the furniture, swap the materials what they used. It's so interesting that, it's very, and if the person is somewhere out, like let's say abroad, or they want to see a property in Bombay, like Worli mein kya hai, they just have to wear this VR set and they just see like, oh, this is what is happening around. It's so easy. Earlier we have to show them virtually like, bhai, ye ho raha hai idhar, and ye, like, we can do this and possibly. Now it's very easy, like one click things can see, like things can change. So that's become like an advantage. And I mean, there's a project, I mean, via LINT in Pune, which they have 3D printed homes. When we look at it, the time consumption, the technology has helped a lot in understanding, like, reducing the time consumption, the economical factor which relates to it. And somewhere slightly even people misuse this, like the AIs and all of it, like we have had clients who came up like, मैंने ChatGPT में ये डाल दिया और मुझे ये like I got a Pinterest image or I got this image. Could you want to reflect this? I think it's so easy for you to put into ChatGPT, but do you understand like what is the problem in this image? Then Pinterest. I mean, it's all about Pinteresty, spaces and things. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's become easy for us to understand what the client needs. But somewhere, if you use it rightly as any other field, it's very beneficial.
So what is the advice which you want to give to students who are seeing their career in the architecture field?
I would give the main thing, like as I specified before, is don't think about, okay, मैंने architecture किया और मेरे को 5 साल के बाद मेरे को इतना high package मिलेगा and all of it. It all depends on how you are pursuing this course, how positively you take this 5 years, because this 5 years is going to be very rigorous, it's going to be very tiring, but it's a course which is of a lot of possibilities. If, like as I said, it's very easy to crack any opportunity with the skills which you kind of learn in this 5 years, and kind of also get through any field. आपको real estate करना है, आपको UI UX में जाना है, you want to go into advanced technologies, or you want to shift courses, or you want to change from you want to have a break from what you have learned, this course will actually help you through it. Like you want to get into media, you want to get into visual arts, advertising, everything, anything, this 5-year course will actually help you get through it. So don't come up with this like, okay, 5 साल के बाद मुझे इतना ही मिलेगा. That is not the drawback. It's actually the advantage where itna hi milega and I'm going to get a better opportunity where I can hunt for, better other courses or other jobs where they need architects to join. And if you rightly search for it, this is the best course, I would say.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insight. It was amazing talking to you.
Thank you for having me here. I hope our conversation set across a good impression about architecture as a course.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this podcast. For more such podcasts, do subscribe to our YouTube channel @Pillai Group Online, as well as make sure to follow us on Instagram @Pillai HOC College. Thank you.